Okay, so we're going to go through a little recall exercise with Heff here. Now, as I started to mention in the other video, what I like to do is I like to keep a 90-degree bend at my elbow like this with my forearm parallel to the ground. Now, I keep my hand cupped just slightly. Now, if I don't have a treat and I want the dog to see it, if I go down, I curl my fingertips up to block him from being able to see that I don't have anything in my hand. So before you call the dog, I want you to have a treat in your hand. So I'm going to demonstrate it first, and then we're going to go around the room and do it. So what I do is I started out here, and I like to do it like this because I can kind of grip it. Now I use the Tricky Trainer liver flavored treats. You want a treat that has a very strong smell, something that's meat based, to get the dog a real incentive to come. So what I do is I hold it like this away from my body. Now, if you have a dog that's skittish to come to you, holding it out like this in front of you, this is confrontational. This is approachable. So if you hold something out to the side, it makes it more appealing or easier for the dog to come and take. Now, it's your dog, so it'll be okay for you guys to do it. But sometimes if the dog won't come, ask them to hold it out to their side. So what I do is I ask the dog one time and I say the word come only. Most people, when I watch them do it, one person says come, somebody else says come here, somebody else whistles, somebody taps their thigh, somebody says the dog's name. Now the dog has to learn like 9 different commands for it. So just come up with one command word, come. So what I do is I have the treat ready to go. I don't want to say come and then have the dog look up at me and this is what it sees me doing, getting ready. So before I ask it, I say come. Now, the flatter your hand is, the more it's for the dog, the more closed, the less it's for your dog. So if you pull it away vertically, but keep your hand open. Cup it if you need to, but don't clench it. Do either one of them like dance or like sit pretty?
Not by command, but for fun on their own, yeah.
Sometimes when you're holding this out, they'll start dancing. As soon as they dance or their front paws coming off the ground, bend at your elbow right away. That's your way of saying, and you can close your hand at that point. That's your way of saying that's what I disagree with. And as soon as their butt hits the ground, then we lower it, let them have it. Okay, so I would say the word come once. If the dog doesn't come, if I repeat the command word multiple times, he's just going to keep on watering down my authority. So I say come once. If the dog doesn't come, see if I can distract him, then I go like, and that usually a kiss will get the dog to look at you. Then I start lowering it. The lower you go, come, the more it's for the dog. Now, I raise it over their head, like I showed you in another video, to make them sit. I expect to sit each time. Sitting is like their way of saying please. Now, if they come and sit on their own, I don't have to raise over their head. I only do that to get them to sit. So if I say come and they don't come, I'm going to kiss. And as soon as they look at me, I start going down to the ground. And go all the way to the ground if you have to. Keep going down until the dog starts coming towards you. Once it gets in the position you want, then raise it up, then put it in a sit, and then immediately let them have the treat. The second the treat touches the lips, we're going to say the command word come. So I'm going to have you go first. I'm going to have you hold your hand out to the side. Actually, you can hold it more over your right knee.
Do you want me to film this?
Yeah, you can film her.
Okay.
Don't show her face if she doesn't want to have it in there. It's you guys' personal preference. All right, and you're going to say the word C-O-M-E.
Come.
Now raise it. Now lower it. Right away. Come.
Come.
Okay,
Come.
so a couple things. When I said lower it right away, you took about 3 seconds to get there. I know it seemed fast, but when you watch it in the video, you'll be able to watch it's probably about 2 or 3 seconds. So you want to go pretty quickly.
As soon as he sits.
The second his butt hits the ground, you want to be delivering the treat. Now the other thing is, you said come, and then when it came, you said come. To a dog, those are completely different sounds. When you watch it, you'll hear yourself. So this is why I record it, because people don't even realize what they're doing half the time. So that sounds like 2 different command words for him. So just come. All right, your turn. So you're going to hold one out, and just one treat in your hand, and the other treat in the other hand. And say it loud enough so he hears you. And just don't say his name, just say C-O-M-E, and put your other hand kind of on your side. There you go.
Come.
Regular enunciation.
Come.
Now make a kiss, long one.
Hefeweizen.
And now for you, I'm going to have you cross your arms and go like this.
Hefeweizen.
And say come.
Come.
Say it pretty loud.
Come.
There you go.
Come.
Lower it right away. Come.
Come.
So you did the same thing. You were elongating. So you guys should just come up with the way that we're going to say it. We're always going to say come. We're always going to say come. However you want to do it is fine. We just want to be consistent. Yeah. Now the other thing is when he sat down, like your mom, you were a little bit slow on giving the treat. So come. Come. See how much faster that was? You want the dog just to associate. As soon as my butt hits the ground, a treat is in my mouth and I'm getting scratched underneath here. All right, Mom, let's try it again. So hold your hand out flat.
Come.
Okay.
Come.
That was a little bit faster and better enunciation, but you were still probably about a second and a half. Try to be faster. You'll get better at it faster the more you practice it. The other thing is you did, if you want to film me real quick, you went like this. And the dog was halfway there, and then you said, come. So I hold the treat up, and then I say, come. Now cross your arms. There we go. Come. So the crossing of our arms, if I call him and he's still here looking at me because he's like, I know you got more treats and somebody else is calling him, I need to tell him that I'm not paying attention. So I cross my arms, I look up like a bad Mexican soap opera actor, and I just remain still and motionless and let the other person call him again. So let's go ahead and have you call again. So hold one out in your hand.
Come.
Kiss. Lower it. Come. Perfect. Now the only other thing is you kind of started going like this, and you went, this is way too high. All you have to do is just go slightly out of his range.
Okay.
If you go too high, then he thinks that it must not be for me. The other thing is if he's that distance, you have to lean forward to give it to him. So if I want to say come, and he's about there, you would do this before he sits. He's already sitting. Let's try to do this here. So let me throw one there. There you go. Come. 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 So when you're doing it, if you retract your hand, then when he gets in the position you want, then raise it over his head. When you raise it, that's where he's going to sit. So don't raise it too far away. So what I would have you guys do is we've got the basics down for this. We're going to practice a little bit off camera. But what you want to do is you want to start out with at least 3 people. You need at least 3. If it's just 2, the dog's just going to go back and forth. So just start out with at least 3 or more people. And just right now, we're in the living room. We're all about 10 feet apart. So we're a little bit closer, we're a little bit further, but generally speaking. Do this and consistently with one dog alone till you say come and the dog is trotting over and sitting down right away, looking up and ready to get the treat. When you get to that point, the next transition is one person maybe goes and sits up at the dining room table. And then after he comes good with that, then maybe somebody's in the kitchen, somebody's in one of the bedrooms. So the dog has to go look beyond line of sight, and each time it does, he gets a reward. And then the next, when you actually finish and you can call the dog wherever you are in the house and the dog comes consistently, the next step I would go into your little deck area here and practice it outside. Now you have the different sights and sounds and smells and distractions of being outside. Practice it there. Then you want to go into your courtyard here. Now because this is an apartment, you can't let them be free and we're worried about them nipping. So what I would do is just get yourself a long lead. Some people use just like a laundry line. So that one person, we can make sure the dog can't go anywhere at once. But then we want to start in a kind of a circle or a square, about 10 feet apart, with everybody having treats, and we call it the same way. Then we gradually make the circle bigger and bigger, till the dog has to go from one side of the yard to the other, and they're racing towards us to get that reward, and they're sitting down. Now we've introduced the concept, we've introduced the reward for the concept, and we're helping them practice it. The more we practice it, the more that myelin sheath covers the neural pathway, and the faster the